So I have you guys set up for, some recording while I work on my blanket. And you're in the holster. You're in the holder. And let's just see if I can kind of zoom you out a little bit here. Somebody got up on my desk and decided they were just going to lay here. Can I not work on my blanket? I think that this absolutely confirms he just wants to lay on my project. Whatever I'm working on. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Hello my beautiful friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations and I'm Nova, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Today is Mandala Tuesday, woot woot, and today is week 4 of our Mandala Tuesday for this go around. So if you haven't been here before, welcome. You picked an amazing time to join because Mandala Tuesdays are one of the most fun days of the week here. We all are kind of collabing together in the Yarny community to work on this mandala throw, and this is like an open thing that everybody's doing. There's a bunch of YouTubers involved. I take everybody's pictures that get sent to my email from subscribers and Yarny friends here on YouTube that send them in, and I put them into my video. And it's just a whole bunch of fun. We're having a lot of enjoyment as a community on this. And everybody's blankets look super, super different. Like, just incredibly different. Totally different blankets. You will literally sit here, like, every time you see a new color, like, new color combination done, you're like, is that the same blanket? There's no way that's the same blanket. Like, it's really cool. And actually, guys, I got a lot of blanket pictures sent in this week, so thank you guys so much for participating. Super excited about that. There are some absolutely beautiful blankets. Every single blanket is gorgeous. Like, I've literally not seen a bad blanket of these mandalas. Like, every color combination looks fantastic. But there's one colorway this week that is super different from anything that we've seen, and it looks like a totally different blanket. Like a completely different blanket. So stay tuned for that because it's pretty cool. But if this is your first time here, I do include all of those pictures at the end of my video after I show my blanket. I do like a montage and I put the names, and if you have like a little blurb or anything like that, I can include that. And so if you would like to join, you are always welcome to join. You don't have to start at the same time as us. You don't have to be at the same part of the blanket as us. You can be at the very beginning. You could be ahead of us, or ahead of me. You can be at any point that you are, and that's totally cool. Send in pictures, and we will enjoy along with you. And anybody is welcome to try their hand at it. I always try to encourage people to take a stab at this blanket if you are interested at all in doing it. It is a much more daunting task to look at than it is to actually do. So you look at it and it's like, it's beautiful. I can't do that. That is beyond my pay grade. Try it. Before you think you can't do it, try it. So, in the description, I will have a couple of links, and one of them is to a crochet along by the Crochet Crowd. And that crochet along is fantastic. It is so helpful. And Mikey at the Crochet Crowd, he takes you through this pattern from beginning to end. He shows you the diagram for every row. He breaks it down and kind of points at it and talks about what's in it. He talks, he says what's in the pattern. And then he actually has his blanket he's working on, and he shows you what you do for that round. So if you're interested at all in trying it, give it a shot. You never know. And you could be really proud of yourself. You could be really, really surprised that you're able to do this blanket. So I would just recommend watching the first video and seeing what you think, or watching, the first few rows of the video and seeing what you think. But also, there is no pressure to do this blanket with us. You are still included in this community. You are still a Yarny friend, and you are still extremely loved, and we're happy you're here if you don't want to make the blanket or you don't have time to make the blanket. This is totally just like an optional fun thing that you can choose to be involved in the making of one, or you can just choose to be here and hang out and be supportive and be awesome. So, before I get any further, I wanted to make sure that I shout out the other YouTube creators that are working on this blanket. So, Llama Mama Kayla is working on this blanket. She isn't going to have an update today. She has had a lot going on in her life, and she hasn't gotten to work on the blanket. So if everybody can continue to keep her in your thoughts and prayers, she's got a lot on her plate right now, and it is completely understandable that this blanket is like the furthest thing from her mind. But normally when she can, she's also doing this blanket and doing Mandala Tuesdays. And then we've also got Heather at Strings and Threads, and I will link all of these creators in the description box, so you can just click right on their name and head over to their channel if you're interested in seeing more mandala videos. Then we also have Jess at J-Hook Magic, Jenna's Stitches, Tiffany at CMM Designs, Connie's Crafty Corner, and Terry Mara's Crochet. So I will link all of those in the description. If you have decided to join in and I don't have you on my list of other YouTubers, please let me know and I will add you on there. Plus, we want to see your blanket, and if I have missed you, I would like to see your blanket. Okay, I needed to get a drink of water. I'm just talking so much. I'm over here like, oh, I need a drink. All right, so what are the details about this blanket? You're like, Nova, you keep talking about this mandala blanket. What blanket are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about a Yarnspirations blanket. It is a free pattern, and I will have a link to the pattern in my description box. It is designed by Lisa Gentry, and it's called the Circular Fall Mandala Throw. And like I said, I will also have the Crochet Along by the Crochet Crowd linked in the description, and it is super helpful. So this blanket, there is a written pattern, which looks like this. And then there's also a diagram that goes along with this, or a chart, or whatever you want to call it. So this kind of number. So, whatever your preference is, there is like a way for you to do this blanket. That's what's so cool about this blanket, but beyond the fact that it's really fun to work up, it's very accessible. So it's free. There is a video tutorial. So if you aren't someone who likes to read patterns or you can't read patterns, there's a really good video tutorial. If you're someone that reads patterns and you prefer that method, there's a pattern. And if you're someone that reads diagrams and you prefer that method, there's diagrams. So super accessible and super, like, everybody can get involved with this blanket. And it is really, really fun to work up because you're changing colors and changing stitches, and like what you're doing, like every row. So it keeps you on your toes, keeps you engaged and interested in what you're doing, but it's also simple. Like, you're never doing a row that's like really hard when you break it down row by row. And so if you're interested in any of the other little details, like what kind of yarn I'm using in my blanket, or any of that kind of stuff, I have my mandala playlist also linked in the description. And in my mandala playlist, you can find the other weeks for this blanket, and the video for this blanket that says like what's next or something like that is the title, or what's to come. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's something along that lines. It's basically week 0. I show the yarns that I'm using in that video. So I think that's everything. Oh, and also my past blanket is also in that playlist if you missed that. I did a rainbow blanket for my past one, so super fun. All right, guys. So now that I am done spieling all my info at you and encouraging you to try this if you want to try this, you guys ready to see the blanket update? Here is my blanket. So I've got it kind of folded just to make it a little bit easier to hold up. But here is what my blanket is looking like. And I can never tell how high up I'm holding it because I can't see you guys when I hold this up. So hopefully I'm giving a good representation of what my blanket is looking like. And then I will bring her in for you. There we go. So I got 5 more rows in from last week. I believe this was my last row last week. And then I got this row in. Another one of those slip stitch rows, which if you were wondering about how to do the slip stitch row, the way that I do my slip stitch rows, I actually posted a little video, just a real quick short video so that you guys could see that. So, that is there. And I will, actually, I'll put that link in the description also, because that's definitely something that a lot of people had questions about. So that's just how I do my slip stitch row, which is different from the pattern. And then I did this round, and then I did this little round that you can't see because it goes underneath of this one, and then I did this final round. So I did this one in a yarn that I haven't used yet in my blanket. In my yarn haul, I mentioned that my husband got this like specific mandala with this blanket in mind. He was like, oh, this will be a cool addition to your blanket. But he doesn't really understand yarn weights, and it's a 3-weight yarn. And the rest of the yarn I'm using in this blanket is a 4-weight yarn. So I wanted to see how it would look, knowing that it would probably be too thin. So what I did was I used it on a round where I knew it wasn't going to matter because I was going to cover up almost the entire row. It only shows little bits of the yarn for that row. And so I tried it on this one and I was like, oh, you know, it's so pretty and everything, and it does match really well, but it's too skinny, you know, it's like too thin of a yarn. And he's like, oh, that's okay, you can use it for something else. I just thought it was pretty and I thought it would match, and I didn't know about, you know, like I didn't understand the weight of the yarn. And I'm like, oh, I know you didn't, because you can tell them, but they have to actually retain the information, which he does not retain the information about this, which is fair. It's not his hobby. But yeah, so that was a sweet effort by him, and it is included in the blanket. It's just included in a way that works for that yarn. The other option that I told him, I'm like, I could probably do a trim when I'm done with the blanket and do like a frilly trim around the edges. But honestly, I actually do like that yarn and would kind of prefer to use it for something else, rather than kind of force its way into this. And he's like, oh yeah. I didn't even get that sentence out, and he was like, oh yeah, use it for something else. Like I won't be upset at all. So here is what we've got going on, you guys. What do you think? And I've got it folded to just kind of try to make it easier to fit into frame. But, let me make sure it's focused at this, like, distance. The blanket has gotten quite big at this point. So here is me holding it up and leaning back. kind of give you an idea. So our blanket is growing, and I think it's growing on me also. So this blanket is going to be for my sister. If you haven't seen my other videos, this is going to be a Christmas gift. And her favorite color is mustard. So I've got 3 different types of mustard yarn that I'm using in this blanket. And the idea was basically I wanted to really showcase mustard, but bring some other complementary colors in at the same time. And I think it's coming along really, really nicely. Honestly, I really love it. I didn't expect myself to be like, oh, I kind of want to just have it for me, but, you know, I kind of just want to have it for me. But I'm obviously going to give it to my sister. And it is really soft. It's a lighter weight than my other blanket because my other blanket was made with all value yarns, and then this one is made with a little bit more like bougier yarns. And they're like lighter and softer, kind of fluffy types of yarns for some of them. And then there are some worsted weights, some value yarns. These are all worsted weights other than that one little row right there. But this is a value yarn. This is this red that I'm mixing in, this sparkly red, which I was hoping would kind of look more burgundy, and I think it does look pretty burgundy in the mix. And this like burnt orange color. Those are my value yarns, and then the other ones are actually mostly yarns I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby when they were doing their like big yearly clearance. I got super, super lucky, and there was a lot of mustard and stuff like that to be had in that clearance. So good thing I had some foresight. You know, what's funny is I really didn't have that much foresight. I didn't know I was making her a mandala yet. I just knew I wanted to make her something with her favorite colors in it. And I had already been working on getting some mustard yarn and things like that. I actually have a different mustard yarn in there. But I decided to keep that for something else because I only have one skein, and I'm like, I might be able to make like a hat or something out of it. But I was like, you know, slowly working on accumulating some yarns for things for her. And actually that's why I had this yarn, this like burnt orange color, because I thought that would go well with mustard in my stash. And then boom, the Hobby Lobby clearance came up, and I was like, I just hit the mother load for her Christmas present. And then when I figured out, you know, that I wanted to do the mandala, I'm like, dude, I've got like half of my yarns already. I've got 3 different mustards. So I've shown you this before, but to show you again the 3 different mustards. This mustard, I'm gonna like get real close up there for you. So this is one mustard. This is one mustard. Both of these are really, really soft. This one is like fuzzy and fluffy and really lightweight, bouncy kind. And then this one is like, I don't even know how to describe this material. Like a super, super soft corduroy type of material is like the best way I could probably explain it. And then this color right here is actually a mustard also. And it's got like more than one color kind of woven together. It's got like little black strands in it. But this is actually, they're all named mustard. But yeah, if you're interested in my color selections, those are in my first like number 0, week 0 video. So you can check those out there. And thank you guys so much for participating in Mandala Tuesdays. I love that you guys love this. And it's just been such a fun community project. So I'm going to start the montage here in a moment of all of the blankets you guys have sent in. If you want to send in a blanket, and you haven't yet, the way that you do that is in the description. I have my email down there. It is novagnomecreations@gmail.com. You can send me pictures of your blanket. Let me know what name you would like me to use. You know, if it's just your first name or if it's like your YouTube screen name or something like that. And then if you have any like little blurbs about your blanket, go ahead and let me know. You know, feel free to say whatever you want. I just ask that you title the email like Mandala or Mandala Blanket, so that it's easy for me to search, because that's what I do when I'm editing my video. I just go to my email and I search Mandala and I look for everything since my last video, to make sure I don't miss any pictures. So I would love to see your blanket, and if you decide to join in, then welcome to the Mandala Club, and I will look forward to seeing your blanket when you are underway. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.